There's a few extra points to make before the Prime Minister makes his, concedes defeat formally in about 20 minutes. Liz Truss's a recognition of defeat in southwest Norfolk was marked by a notable and typical lack of grace and an unusually defensive tone. It was a competitive race, and Truss, the former Prime Minister with the flappy hands and the marionette-like potential, was unseated in what has been described as one of the most dramatic political downfalls in recent history. Truss was the Portillo moment that everyone was waiting for, and her absence from the constituency probably explains her failure. I think the close runner-up to her defeat is actually that of Johnny Mercer, not terribly important as a minister, the Veterans Minister, beaten by Fred Thomas. And I'm particularly impressed by Fred Thomas in this because of the heated conflict, the heated exchange that took place during a hustings about Thomas's military service. Mercer, the former Veterans Minister, repeatedly accused Thomas of lying about his combat experience and suggested that Thomas had exaggerated his service record to boost his political career, and the accusation was made despite Thomas's consistent explanation that he couldn't discuss the specifics of his military action due to their sensitive nature. And Mercer's attacks included labelling Fred Thomas as a Walter Mitty character, and I think that was unacceptable from somebody who was claiming to be the Minister for Veterans, and surely Fred Thomas was a veteran. And senior Labour figures, including the Shadow Defence Secretary, John Healey, demanded Mercer withdraw his deeply disrespectful remarks, and he didn't. And Thomas, a former Royal Marine captain who served for 7 years and held a certificate of valediction from a special services commanding officer that praised his integrity and his operational experience. Despite this, Mercer insisted that Thomas had never led troops into combat. The confrontations weren't limited to public accusations. During hustings and press briefings, Johnny Mercer was notably abrasive, intensifying his personal attacks against Thomas and demonstrating absolutely why he's unfit for public office, why his commitment to veterans was limited to commitment to himself. And his conduct was maybe an attempt to provoke Thomas into disclosing classified details about his service, which would violate confidentiality rules. But it was nasty, and I trust Johnny Mercer will now quietly withdraw from public life and will never be seen again. He is a disgrace to his party, to his ministerial responsibility, and to his military service. He doesn't deserve to be seen again. And, I'm not a Labour voter, but all praise to Fred Thomas. And I would certainly, had I been in that constituency, I would certainly have thought very seriously about voting for Fred Thomas, simply as a matter of honour. And I'm proud that other people clearly took the same view.